Playoff implications on the line Saturday night between the Ravens and the Cowboys in the last ever game at Texas Stadium. Hey, how are you, folks? Jason Horowitz, CBS Sports' Charley Casserly. Glad to be with you on the NFL previews presented by Comcast. Now, I guess, of course, if the Cowboys get the 5th seed and the 6th seed in the NFC both make it to the conference championship, you can see a playoff game at Texas Stadium.
Probably not.
Probably not going to happen. So let's assume this is the last game at Texas Stadium. Charlie, what are some of your best memories there?
Well, we had a few of them, okay? Probably the biggest one is in '87 during the strike season when our strike team went in there and beat the Cowboys with players like Tony Dorsett, Too Tall Jones, Randy White, Danny White, and we didn't have one player that was on an NFL roster at the start of the season, and that was a big upset there. Back in '83, we beat them for the division championship when both teams had great records at the end of the season. So we've had some good memories there.
Those are some of your good memories. I'm sure Cowboys fans would rather remember other memories.
Well, they had a few memories
but
there,
those
too,
are some of your
us,
best
okay?
ones. But Cowboys fans and the Cowboys, at least for this week, they got all kinds of warm and fuzzy feelings, Charlie. That they beat the Giants. They looked pretty good, especially on defense. But again, that's just 1 week. What do they have to do to beat the Ravens and stay in that playoff hunt?
Well, I think in the formula has got to be #1 with the Ravens. You've got to stop the run. The Ravens want to run the football, put it in Joe Flacco's hands. If they can do that, then I think that's #1 what they've got to do. The second thing is, hey, you've got to protect Tony Romo. Baltimore does a great job of blitzing the quarterback unconventionally. They give you a lot of different looks. So you got to be prepared for a lot of different things. The ball's going to be in Tony Romo's hands. He's got to protect it, and he's going to have to make some plays. But that offensive line's got to give him a chance, too.
The other thing that Baltimore's defense does really well, Charlie, is the fact that they play the tight end very well. I believe they have not allowed a touchdown all season long to a tight end. And Jason Witten, of course, is the safety net for Tony Romo. So if they can take him out of this football game, what does that mean for the passing attack of the Cowboys?
Well, it's going to mean a couple things. First of all, when you're out in the field, when people talk about the Dallas Cowboys, the first thing they say, God, they got so many weapons. They got T.O., they got Jason Witten. And also they're sitting there now with Roy Williams. We don't know what the running back situation is here. But the point is, if you take away Witten, there are other options. The red zone will be the key. When they get in the red zone, they're going to have to find a way, if they take away Witten, to be able to run the ball down there. That's going to be a challenge.
Now, you started this by talking about the key to beating the Ravens is stopping the run and making it beat Joe Flacco's game and making him beat you. When you look at the Ravens, do you think they'll be able to protect Joe Flacco? Because the the Giants certainly couldn't protect Eli Manning. They gave up 8 sacks.
Well, I think that here's the key. I think they're going to struggle because the Cowboys have 2 ways to rush the quarterback. They can just line up and whip you one-on-one. Jay Ratliff on the inside, going to the Pro Bowl. DeMarcus Ware, candidate for Defensive Player of the Year. Greg Ellis on the other side. Anthony Spencer. They have guys that can win one-on-one against the Baltimore blockers, and then they'll come and blitz and try to confuse you. So I think it's going to be a tough day for Baltimore to protect the quarterback, and remember, they're going to be on the road. The crowd noise is going to hurt them.
And, of course, again, that extra crowd noise because it is the last game at Texas Stadium, and of course the Cowboys trying to make the playoffs, the Ravens trying to make the playoffs, and of course Baltimore's trying to forget last week's call, which they're still upset about, the one where Santonio Holmes caught the ball in the end zone, called no touchdown on the field, overturned. Whether it was a touchdown, well, it goes down in the books as a touchdown and a loss for the Ravens. Let's see what the computer thinks about this game. The AccuScore prediction, 10,000 tests, 10,000 results, and see what the computer thinks. They like the Cowboys, and they like it in a big way. 66% of the time, the Cowboys, despite both teams having the same record, come out on the computer victorious. Charlie, do they leave?
I like the Cowboys to win. But it's hard to have that Baltimore defense visualized giving up a lot of points there, just because of how aggressive they are and they can force turnovers. So I think this will be a tough football game, but at the end of the day, I think the Cowboy defense will shut down the run, force Joe Flacco to have a tough day throwing the ball, and I think Tony Romo will make enough plays positively in the game where they're going to be able to win the football game. But I think it's going to be a hard-fought, tough, close game, Dallas to win.
And let's not forget, Baltimore's defense, until that last drive last week, was sensational against Pittsburgh. Let's see what they can do here against the Dallas offense in this game. Saturday Night Football. For more on this one or any other in Week 16, be sure to stay with CBSSports.com. Watch everything else on the CBS Audience Network. For Charley Casserly, I'm Jason Horowitz. Take care, folks.